234 Media Bio.
Let's study about human brain, and this is the part 1 of the human brain series. Let's start with the introduction. The brain is the main organ of the human body that controls all bodily functions, interprets information from the outside world, and let us communicate with the surroundings. You guys all know about the human brain, don't you? It is the master controller of all body functions. Now the brain receives information through 5 senses. They are vision, smell, touch, hear, and taste. Other functions of the brain: translates an input message from the outside world, so that we may understand them, and stores information in our memory. The brain controls our thoughts, memory, speech, movement of the arms and legs, and finally all the function of other organs within our body. The brain also governs our intelligence, creativity, emotion, and memory. Time to check out the parts of the human brain. The brain is protected within the skull, and is a part of the central nervous system, CNS. These 2 points should be noted. The brain is composed of 3 parts: cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. Here's the picture of the brain. The biggest portion of the brain is the cerebrum, next we got the cerebellum, and finally the brainstem. So first we gonna discuss about the cerebrum. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain, and is composed of right and left hemispheres. Here the word hemisphere must be a scary one to you, but I will tell you about that right after I finish up with the functions of the cerebrum. So let us see them. They are interpreting information, touch, vision, hear, speech, reasoning, emotion, learning, and fine control of movement. So you see that the cerebrum, being the largest portion of the brain, carry out most of the brain tasks. So hemispheres. If you look at the brain from the top, it will look like this. Now check out this black colored line, which actually divides the brain into 2 halves, and is known as longitudinal fissure. So we can say that the brain is actually of 2 separate portions, which are joined at the longitudinal fissure. Now the left half of the brain is known as left hemisphere or left brain, and right side of the brain is known as right hemisphere or right brain. Each of these hemispheres performs their functions on the opposite side of the body. Or I can say that the left hemisphere controls all the functions of the right side of the human body, and the right hemisphere controls all the function of the left side of the body. Somewhat like this. The left hemisphere controls all the functions of the right side of the human body, which is the blue arrow, and the right hemisphere controls all the function of the left side of the body, which is the red arrow. I hope this picture has made that clear to you. So let's check out the detail of the left hemisphere. Well, it is responsible for control of the right side of the body, and is the more academic and logical side of the brain. It performs functions like analytic thoughts, language, reasoning, science and math, writing, and numeric skills. What about the right hemisphere? It is responsible for control of the left side of the body, and is the more artistic and creative side of the brain. Interesting. It performs functions like art awareness, creativity, imagination, innovation, tune and music, and 3D vision. Let us have a quick recap. The cerebrum is divided into 2 halves, the right and left hemispheres. They are joined by a bundle of fibers, called the corpus callosum. Okay, now this is something new. These corpus callosum transmits messages from one side of the body to the other. Each hemisphere controls the opposite side of the body. Finally, if a stroke occurs on the right side of the brain, your left arm, or left leg, may be weak or paralyzed. Yet, now this is logical, isn't it? In this picture you can see the left hemisphere, right hemisphere, and the corpus callosum. Yes, that gray mark in the between is the corpus callosum. Now let's check out the cerebellum of the brain. The cerebellum is located just under the cerebrum. Its size is smaller than cerebrum. Its functions are muscle movement, maintain posture of the body, and maintain balance of the body. Okay, now the final part of the brain, which is the brainstem. The brainstem acts as a relay center, connecting the cerebrum and cerebellum to the spinal cord. Its functions are breathing, heartbeat, body temperature, sleep and wake cycle, digestion, sneezing, coughing, swallowing, and vomiting. So the brainstem is the portion which connects the brain to the rest of the body. So there we end up the part 1 of the human brain series. Next is the part 2 of the playlist. And please subscribe to our channel 1234 Media Bio to keep information like this in your brain.